Okay, so in this lesson I'm going to show you how to sniff and inject packets into a wireless network. So first off, I need to scan all the wireless networks around me. And to do that, I will type aircrack-ng, which is a packet sniffer program, and the monitor mode wireless interface WLAN 0 mode, and press enter to start the scanning. And here you can see useful information from all the wireless networks around me, like the MAC address, channel number, encryption type, and network name. Now to stop the scanning process, use Ctrl+C. Okay, so let's see how to sniff packets from a specific network. And in my case, the target network is Skynet. Also make sure you are doing this test on your own network. So let's get started by typing the following command: aircrack-ng --bssid and copy the MAC address from the target network and paste it here. Then you need to specify the channel using -C and the channel number, which is 6. Now the next step is to type -W for write and put the file name. This is the file where all the data will be saved, and in my case I will type capture. And lastly, put the wireless interface WLAN 0 mode and press enter. This will start capturing all the packets from the wireless network in a file called capture01.cap. So to find the file, I will open a new tab and type ls. And here you can see the capture01.cap file. Okay, now let's see how to inject packets into the target network. So to do that, I'm going to type the following command: airplay-ng --dout for the authentication attack, and put the number of packets which you want to send. And for this example, I will use 10. And then type -a and put the MAC address for the target network and the wireless interface WLAN 0 mode. Okay, now let's analyze the file to see if I have successfully injected those packets. So I'll type Wireshark and the capture file name and press enter. And now I'm going to look for the authentication packets, which you can see here. These packets will disconnect all the clients from the wireless network. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Hi, in this video I will show you how to create an access point on Linux. Now the first thing you need to do is to install DNSMask and host APD by typing apt install DNSMask and host APD in the terminal and press enter. Then you need to stop all the interfering processes using airmon-ng check here. Okay, so the next step is to create the configuration files for the DNSMask and host APD. And in my case, I already created the files in the home directory. So if I use ls, you can see the DNSMask config file and host APD. Okay, now let's understand how these files work. So I will type nano, which is a text editor, and put the name for the config file. And here in the first line, you need to put the name for your wireless interface, which you can easily find using iwconfig command. And the next line will set the IP range for the clients. So when clients connect to your access point, the DHCP server will give them an IP address. And then you have the gateway IP address, in other words the router, and the DNS server, which is used to translate domain names into IP addresses. Okay, now let's close this file using Ctrl+X and open the host APD config file using nano and the name of the file. And here we'll see some very simple settings. And the first line is the wireless interface WLAN 0. And the second is the wireless network name, which you can change it to whatever you want. And then you have to put the channel number and the driver. And to save the file, use Ctrl+O to write, Enter, and Ctrl+X to exit. Okay, so at this point you can start the access point using the following commands. DNSMask-C and put the location for the configuration file and press enter. And now the DNS and DHCP server is running in the background. Once done with that, type hostapd and put the location for the configuration file and press enter. And you can see the test Wi-Fi network has been started. Okay, now let's go to a Windows machine and see if the wireless network is visible. And here on my taskbar you can see the test Wi-Fi network. Okay, so let's go back to the Kali machine and show you another simple method on how to create an access point. And this time I'm going to use a tool from aircrack called aircrack-ng. So in the terminal type aircrack-ng-e and put the wireless network name. Then you need to set the channel using -c and put the channel number and the wireless interface WLAN 0 and press enter. And now the access point is up and running. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching and I will see you next time. Okay, so in this video I'm going to teach you how to enable a captive portal login page on your access point. So first off, I will open the DNSMask config file using nano and the name of the file. And here on the last line I have added the IP address for the login page. Basically this will redirect any request from the web browser to this IP address when clients connects to the access point. So I'll close this and open the hostapd config file using nano and put hostapd.conf. And here I will only change the wireless network name to free Wi-Fi and save the file. Okay, now I will start DNSMask using DNSMask-C and put the location for the configuration file. And then start hostapd by typing hostapd and put the configuration file. And I will also add -p to run the command in the background. This is useful if you don't want to open a new terminal. And now I need to add the IP address for the WLAN 0 interface by typing ifconfig WLAN 0 and put 192.168.1.1/24. and press enter. Now the next thing is to set up the login page for the access point, and in my case I have saved the files in the home directory. So to find the files I will click on the file manager, and here I have a folder called basic portal. So I will open the folder, and here are the files for the login page. Now let's see how the page looks like by clicking the index.html file. And here you can see a basic HTML login page which will be used to appear when clients try to connect to the access point. Okay, now let's close this, and the next step is to copy the files to the web server directory by going to other location, computer, var www.html and paste the files here. Okay, now the last thing you need to do is to modify the configuration file for the Apache web server and add the rewrite rules. So I already saved the rules in a file here in the home directory, and if I use ls you can see the Apache rewrite file, which I will open using nano and the name of the file. Now here I'm not going to cover too deep about these rules. Basically these rules will make the redirection for a captive portal to work properly. So you need to copy this and type nano/etc/apache2 sites enabled 00default.conf And under virtual host, paste the code. And don't forget to save the file. Once done with that, start the web server using service Apache 2 start. Okay, now let's switch to the Windows machine and test the free Wi-Fi network. So I will click connect. And you can see I have been automatically redirected to the login page. Portal. So first off, make sure the access point is up and running. Then in the terminal type T-Shark and set the interface to WLAN 0. And use -W to store the data in a file. So I'm going to put capture.cap for the file and press enter. And now I'm capturing packets on WLAN 0 interface in a file called capture.cap. Okay, now let's go to the Windows machine and connect to free Wi-Fi. And you can see when I connect to the access point, I automatically get directed to the login page. Now let's say I want to access a different web page. So I will open a new tab and type google.com. And you can see I've been redirected to the login page where I need to put the username and the password. So I will type John for the username and put let me pass in for the password. And click login. Okay, so let's go back to the Kali machine and stop the capturing process and open the capture file, which is saved in the home directory. So if I use ls, you can see the capture.cap file. Now to open the file, type Wireshark and the name of the file. And here are the packets from the WLAN 0 interface, which I have captured using T-Shark. Now the next step is to change the filter to HTTP and look for post request. And here is the HTTP post request. And if I go and click on HTML form, you can see the username and the password.